Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BMRL Network. One more time, we are live. Back tonight, it's going to be myself, Zappy, on your mics tonight. Not for a BMRL series, but for Outlaw Sim series tonight. It is going to be a great one here at ChicagoLand. 130 laps of some great racing. But just before that, we're going to have cars go out in qualifying. All the drivers that are there, they're there for qualifying, will be racing all here tonight as Stitzer is out. One of the first drivers putting up a time on board, 30.92 here at Chicago. And that number 5 car is going to be other drivers out there as well, as Belliot now goes quicker than Stitzer. And that's going to be 2 drivers having a time on board, number 5 and number 7. Should be 9 of the drivers here tonight. It's going to be just one stage break at lap 54 that I'm being told about, but let's get it. Let's get going here tonight. This should be nothing but great entertainment for all of you watching. My first time here tonight for the Outlaw Sim Series, but let's get started as we have Elliot getting started and out on the track. Meanwhile, there's another car that is going to be a 57. We saw him earlier on before the in that practice session clip up the walls, and he does it once again. That's then going to slow him down. Stitzer currently in that second place. Meanwhile, that number 1 car comes back out on the circuit. It comes out on the circuit as well. Many cars that we are seeing tonight, but only 2 of them who actually have a time on board so far. That is Belliot and Stitzer. I don't know how long is the qualifying session because we have no data about it, but this should be nothing but some great fun as soon as we have more drivers putting up time on board. And even if the qualifying's over, and there you go, that is about 7 minutes it shows, and we are seeing that number 1 car going around the circuit. They would just be getting out on the track and get started and put a lap time on board. They will be doing all they can, all here at Outlaw Sim Series at Chicagoland to take us through. It was a great race last night for the truck series at BMRL Network, BMRL series. It was a great one at Talladega Speedway, I believe. This is another one to take over for the Outlaws. There we go. Reese has got a time as well. Only 6,000th of a second slower than Belliot. That is just 0.06 seconds separating the top 2 drivers, with that number 5 car a little bit far away. There you go. There's another driver out on the track. That is going to be the number 65. Only in a few moments we will see. We will see how his, what's his name actually, as he has time on board. But so far we're just about, it might just be a 10-minute qualifying, as we have 5.5 minutes past, probably 5.5 remaining, and only 3 drivers with a time. Can we see that 65 car just get across that line and begin their flying lap now, as they just are going to be coming across the line? But I believe that was that start-finish line, as looking from that track map, as the car just goes around in that 65, just trying to go any quick as he can, as there's another car, and there we go. It's Lingerfeld with that 65, goes P3 in that 65 car, so maybe the time just updated a little later, and there we go. That is going to be interesting. So probably that dot is going to be that start-finish line. Let's have a look at this, and we're just taking it through and seeing this. So yeah, that dot will be that, because the line, I did not see any start finish line, and there you go. We're just having a little bit of a stoppage, but there you go. That 22 car now out on the track, and what a good enough lap from Lingerfeld so far in that 3rd place currently of the 4 drivers. 2,200ths down on the pole position driver Reese. Reese currently quickest. Belliot. Oh yeah, we did not probably realize, as Belliot now is 8,000th of a second slower than Reese, with just about 4.5 minutes now to go in this session, with that number 22 car now on their way to be having a time on board. And they do have a time on board. It's going to be Fox in that number 22 car, as he goes P3, 17,000th of a second slower than the pole fastest time. They could well be improving. They will be on their way to improve, to go any quicker, and they can, but just doing up there a little slide from them there. Let's see as he goes down, and that actually could be the line, because I did see something up there, but there we go. He just went down low. 6 drivers now out of the 9 that we are getting tonight. Have a time now. Ooh, there's going to be that 56th, that's going to be in the wall. That should be Adam Gardiner. It is Adam Gardiner. He just completes his lap, then goes into the wall on the inside, as we have a 65 and a 56 car. With these drivers now, then with just 3.5 minutes remaining as Adam's back into the pits. Gardiner, as we're going to see him coming out back on the track. Meanwhile, there's another car back out on track. It's that number 21 car. With Reese, Balliet, Fox, Lingerfelt, Gardner, and Stitzer all out there on the track with the time on board. And it's going to be Giordano in that 21 car. But a time goes P4 ahead of Lingerfelt, ahead of Gardner, ahead of Stitzer. And that's going to be a decent enough lap to put in P4. He for sure would try and improve again if he's got a time. Not sure how many laps they are supposed to do. We haven't got that data, but we know that much. They just have about 3 minutes or less now remaining in this session. And only then we will begin 430 laps of racing, which should be nothing short of amazing racing, which should be nothing short of great performance by these drivers, as we currently have 7 of them have a time on board, with 2 still yet to see us. Let us see a time on board. Let us see how good they are about to do, or how good they are going to be doing. Just now waiting to see any car out on the track. Nobody out on the track at this moment. Just not yet so far. Just waiting and looking at this great drone shot of the ChicagoLand circuit. And there we go. There is the 87 car. We're going to see them come out on the track and give us some action. We're watching them in free practice. They were doing a few laps around the circuit. And there we go. They are in that great livery. I cannot read out what's written on the car, but let's get it. I'm sure we will be able to do that as soon as we zoom in a little. And that is Canes. Sponsored by Canes, probably. Just running a Canes livery, the 87 car. But let's see, how good are they going to be doing? Are they going to be getting a lap as good as Canes? But let's see. Only time will tell. They're on it. They will get started. They indeed have gotten started, if that was the starting line, but they are all going to be there. I believe this is Gen 4 cars for us here tonight, and 7 drivers in fact have a time, and that is going to be going across that line. 87 now. It's going to be, that's very slow, about almost 3 seconds down. Stutzman, that is, in the 87 car, number 8. I'm sure he's going to improve, get better and better by time. But let's see how good and quick he's going to be able to do that. That probably would have just been an outlap. I don't know if it counts the outlap or not. But we'll see how good he's going to be able to do now. Just coming across that line, a proper and a full lap. That is going to see him improve a little on his previous time. How much does he improve by? He does. Goes P5. Into the top 5 goes Stutzman. That's going to be just 20 hundredths of a second, 20 hundredths and 200ths of a second, I shall say, down on the fastest time. So that's then probably going to be putting him at 30.66. That's just my prediction, but we will see. Now all these drivers are out. Meanwhile, we have Lingerfelt back again, and that's going to be it. That is going to be full checkered flag for the qualifying. That's going to be it for the qualifying session. Now we should be getting the starting grid anytime soon, and look at that. Here at Chicagoland, it's going to be Rees ahead of everyone. Just right behind him is going to be Giordano, then Balliet, Fox in 4th, with Stutzman in 5th, Lingerfelt in 6th. In fact, there is more than 9 drivers in this session tonight, which we saw put a lap in qualifying. It's Lingerfelt in 6th, Gardiner in 7th, Stitzer in 8th, and Erden in 9th, with Somes in 10th, and Smith in 11th place. Just completing out the 11 car grid tonight. 134 laps, it says. being told it's gonna be it's gonna be lap 54 stage, which is just one stage tonight, and let's get started. Just getting now. This fast number one car, Reese, shows why he is number one on that car, starting ahead of everyone. Let's see how and who's gonna be doing better than one another, as we have the checkered flag being up there. Not the checkered flag, but the green flag, as the flag will be waved by the man standing there in the box to wave, and they'll let these drivers race and free them up to get going and fight against each other, as they're just waiting now for a little bit. I'm not sure what we are waiting for here, but we should be starting any minute now. And there we go, the lights are on the screen. They're not yet anything. And there we go, we are getting started. Of course, those lights are not going to go green as soon until the pace car is in the pits now. This is a nice pace car, I've never seen that before, but interesting. Let's see now this gets started. Drivers switching up positions, of course, they're going to be starting in their own positions up when it goes green. It's going to be a good fight between Reese and Giordano in 1 and 2 places. As the pace car goes in, it's going to be going green and go racing. It's already going to be a good start for Reese, but then Giordano's right behind him as well. Is Belliot in that number 7 car, not going to leave those top 2 behind. And that's Fox coming up there as the 65 Lingerfeld, now thought to go down low, but comes just covering up the inside. Goes that 22, and now we're seeing Belliot going up against Reese up there, as Giordano has lost out on that 2nd place, as Reese is not going to be doing backing out at all, as he's now going to be trying to fight and not let that position up go. Is as we're going to see Belliot come up and fight him against already. He's going to give him a very good hard time. They're all trying to go double file, but the Reese has his own plans, as he's going to keep him single file for now. It'll be interesting to know how it will be between the two. All these drivers so far single file up there. A good start for Reese, just able to hold up on his lead. Giordano losing out of position, and now in pressure from Fox as well. 21, 22 cars up there. Is on the outside goes Belliot. He's going to be very close against Reese. Reese has stayed down low to try and defend that inside line, as he now moves up outside back again. But this will be interesting. This will be somewhat of an interesting news, as it's going to be now once again Reese up there going to try and defend up his position, but he's going to be already in somewhat big pressure, as BC Belliot already on his way to try and overtake Reese. They're going to be side by side. Reese is down low. He's going to go through, but Belliot it is, but Reese is going to come back at him. Belliot's going to be on the inside still. He's going to be holding him up the door and not let him overtake him, as Reese now on the outside. Still they're both side by side, just holding off each other. Still just holding off each other. It's going to be Belliot and Reese up there, both side by side, wheel to wheel racing between the two, as Reese now gets up ahead. He's car length ahead now, but still he's exposed. He can go through, as Belliot can go through against and overtake him. He's not going down low, actually just maintaining that outside line and probably protecting that in some of those corners, as that outside is a good opportunity to overtake for Belliot, but Belliot is now might just be being patient as well. 134 laps, a very, very long race, so not quite the time for him to really do anything impatiently, do anything That's not required as we're already on lap 5. And looking at some of the back of the field cars as well. But look at this now, folks. And Giordano fighting out each other there. It's going to be number 21 and 22 cars. Up there, the two now almost bumper to bumper with each other, as Fox is now very close to the Giordano as he's going to try and overtake him, but Fox is up there, but we'll see if he's going to be able to be doing that. 57 car is right behind them as well. It's Arden in that 57, 1.1 second to the lead, but look at that, we saw Arden crash up in practice. Hit the wall, but obviously that's practice, but then touched that little wall in qualifying as well. We'll see what he's going to be able to do there as he's down low and he's going to be through on Fox up there. He's just going to be making a position, but will he be able to make the move? Yes, he will be, as he's now going to go for the 21 as well. He's not coming up slow at all, as we saw the 57. We just talked about how he had a messed up qualifying, as he now gets it back. And now going to be on his way. He has overtook one car. He's almost going to be able to overtake another, as the 57's now on the inside. He's going to be through on 21, but they're still going to be side by side. They almost made contact up there. Just looking at the back of the field, things up there, it's going to be now 56 and 65 cars. Lingelfeld and Gardner fighting each other for 6th place, as right behind them is Stitzer, and they are still close. They're nice. You saw that little great fight between 21 and 57. 51, 57 there, just keeping up, and Arden is already through on Giordano there. We can see in the minimap up there, and look at that. He's made up that position. He made one position, just was already getting up there, as there is going to be now a chance for that 95 car. Smith started 11th, but making some progress already, as he's going to be right behind that number 5 car now. Could well be on his way to be making an overtake. He's going to try and attack him up, but will it be enough? How good he's going to be able to do that? Does he think that he's going to be nicely overtaking Stitzer? But we will see what they're all going to be able to do and how they will all be up there, as we are now there we go. I was just trying to find, and there we go. We're just back at it, and look at that. There are so many cars up behind, and those guys are all together now, as Smith has lost out those positions again. He was sticking behind that number 8 car, Stitzer, but he was not able to overtake him yet. But then it is now going to be Solmes, Holmes, I shall say, and he's going to be there in that 67 car on his way to try and overtake Setzer, but they all will be there, as that 67 now goes down the inside, as the number 5 is very close to that wall on the outside. They're going to make contact. They will make contact, and they both touched each other, as Stitzman's now right behind them as well, as he's going to go down low and try and overtake. He's going to be on his way to be overtaking. We're on lap 12, and the action has been packed so far. Some very good racing between all of the grid around. We saw some fighting at the front of the field and at the back of the field as well. And look at that, the gap between 1 and 2 is 3/10 of a second that shall be, and they're still together there. Belliot trying to overtake, Belliot trying to gain position, as we see Adam Gardner gain up a position on Lingerfeld up right behind at the back as well. But that 67 guard now up in pressure from that 87. He's going to try and overtake him. Stutzman on his way to try and overtake and just get ahead and make one position to himself. Ooh, very close. That was very close once again. As we saw, look at that 67 stayed there, but Stutzman almost from outside to the inside went up there and touched him. But they are going to be side by side still. Are we going to see Stutzman just hold up there and gain a position on him? They're still going to be side by side. Will it be the 67 or will it be the 87? On coming up ahead of the other, ahead of another. They're still going to be there though. But we will see. Up there, they're both now together and side by side, still side by side. The 87's not going to leave him up. They almost make contact, and look at that, how quickly that Stutzman went from inside to the outside and quickly moving towards the car of Solms, and we will see what they're going to be all doing. Just backs out as now Stutzman makes up a position on Solms and doing a bit of a better job than he did previously, and just making one position up that he couldn't earlier, and he's done it again. And now we're going to see Solms up in pressure from Stetzer as well, as that's going to be some interesting things to do. We're on lap 16 and already some great action as the 87 car has taken up a position, and he's now going to be on his way to try and overtake Lingerfeld. He's going to be on his way to try and attack him, as we see Smith right behind in that 11th place in that 95 car, but others just ahead of him. He's not far behind as well, as he's gonna go down low, almost overtakes that number 5 there. He was stuck behind him, actually couldn't overtake him earlier. Then we saw him get overtaken by Solms and Stutzman, who were both behind those guys in those last positions up at that point. As now we're gonna see, oh look at that, as that number 5 car goes defensive on the inside. He goes on the outside once again. Almost gonna make contact. He moved up a little bit, but that 95 of Smith is gonna be around the outside, and he's gonna be making that position, and up in the 10th place once again is Smith. One position gained for Smith up there. It's gonna be 67 Solms now, just running up in 9th place. Nobody able to get closer. And look at that. And look at the Belliot now, just about less than 2/10 closer to Reed. We're having a look at this fight between Giordano and the 57 of Arden. Actually, that is interesting. Arden has moved up places as well, as Fox is in 3rd place. Giordano losing out a bit of positions. But look at that. Now the fight for the race lead is on. Fight for the race lead. Fight for that first stage win is going to be on, as Reese is going to go defensive on the inside line. Belliot's going to try and attack him. Belliot's going to be on his way to try and give him the fight. And look at that. Round the outside is going to be Belliot going through up ahead of Reese. He's going to take that race lead now as Belliot gets ahead and up into the race lead here at Chicagoland. It only took him 20 laps to go from 3rd to 1st. This is going to be our new race leader, taking up a position, but that doesn't mean Reese is going to be falling behind. He's going to be catching up back again. He's going to fight up and do all he can to come back at him and give him the challenge of race leading and race victories. Of course, he's not going to let him come alone or have it easy at all. He's going to give him the fight, as we are now past 21 laps here at Chicagoland. And look at that now, dear, down to the 21 car, getting closer to the 22 there. They're all together, bunched up again. Now we're going to see Lingerfeld's car as well. Lingerfeld, or inside, it's not Lingerfeld, Arden in that 57 car. Actually, similar numbers, so it's a bit confusing. 57, 56, and another car of 67. He's far off Solms. He's far behind Solms. He's behind, but that Lingerfeld's car of 65. Those similar numbers, but look at this. We saw 22 and 21 both drivers fighting each other up. And look at that final at the back of the grid. The cars bunched up together as well. And Reese now falling behind there for a little bit. But look at this. It's going to be now once again. We saw Gardner save up a position. He's going to touch up the wall on the outside. It's going to be Stutzman through. It is going to be Lingerfeld through as well. Gardner is going to lose out 2 positions on the case of a few miles only as he touches the wall on the outside, and that's going to be a big problem for him as he falls back into 8th from 6th position as Stutzman now moves up the order and again gets up into 6th place. He's quite far behind Arden though, but still good positions gained and points scored. Not points scored, of course, points are yet far away. They are going to score if they finish there, but we are going to be there up all together. Lap 25 out of 137, and the racing action has been great as much as they could in these 11 cars up out on the track. Still not much together, but just getting up there, and I'm sure the pit stops will be amazing as well. It'll be interesting to know and see if these drivers are able to make up to the end of this stage. It's going to be lap 54, I'm being told, so it'll be interesting to see what can one another do, because they're all going to be together, but when it comes time for a pit stop, for a little bit of fuel, for an extra bit of set of tires, going to be very interesting as Smith is now closer, and Smith is going to be able to overtake Gardner. He's going to send his car on the inside, but it doesn't seem that'll be enough at all. He has to back out again, but he's going to go once again. He might as well try it again after a little bit of cars time behind him. He doesn't wait at all. He's going to go for it again as on the inside it's going to be Smith in that 95 car, as we're going to see Kyle Lingerfeld. Kyle up there. The man from Horseheads is going to be there, and that's in 7th place at this point, 5.5 seconds behind the race leader. They've all done 27 laps. A little bit of a contact between 2 cars, a few moments away, but it wasn't gonna be enough. It wasn't enough to make a get a caution. It's gonna be the 57 car now slowing down. Not sure what exactly happened to Arden, but he's heading pit road. As I was talking about pit stops, it is gonna be Emerson Arden into the pits along with Adam Gardner. They both are gonna hit pit road on lap 28, so definitely they can't make it to the end of the stage, and they will have to pit for the first time in this race on lap 28 unless they could take a lot of fuel and carry on with the same tires. They can go to the end of the stage, but probably they can now go to the end of the stage, but look at that. This is going to be close now. Gardner and Arden, 56 and 57 in race numbers. Will it be Gardner coming out ahead? It is going to be Arden. He's going to overtake Gardner up again, get out ahead of him on pit road, and he's going to be exiting pit lane far, far away, as we're going to see Matthew Sitzer out into the pits as well. Drivers now heading pit road. What about Joshua Belliot? He's going to head down pit road. All the drivers now coming down pit lane. All of the drivers now. Reese coming up into the pits as well. This is going to be a fight to look at. The number 7 car and the number 1 car all together on their way to see what they're going to be doing, as Fox, Giordano, Stitzman, Lingerfeld all stay out, along with Smith and Soames, but others pit. And look at that now. This is going to be interesting. Reese and Joshua Rees, a few drivers with that Joshua name, but Joshua Rees and Belliot will be Belliot on his way, and it's going to be Belliot as Belliot exits out up ahead of Rees out of the pit lane as Rees tries to come back at him and catch up very fast uply, but is he going to be fast enough? Not quite though, as Soames and Josh Fox come into the pits as well. All these drivers now making their pit stops and making this race count, and just strategy a lot of the time can win you or lose you out of the races, so they're going to be all up there on their way. And at the end of lap 31, all the drivers now up on their way to be pitting, as Fox now going to try and come back on the track very fast, and as soon as he can do that, how good can he get an exit out of the pits? But look at that, lap 32 out of 134. Hope you all watching so far are enjoying this race and broadcast. Brought to you by only on BMRL Network. Make sure to press that like button and hits the subscribe, as we are on now lap 32 as Kyle Lingerfeldt comes into the pits as well in that 65 car, I shall say, out there in that 5th position, but he's going to be falling out a little as he has somewhat, not issues, but obviously getting up in pit lane and just taking up a little. There we go, drivers now pitting, and Belliot once again back into the race leader. Reese in the 2nd place as well. All the other drivers gaining up positions and times they lost out while having to pit up there, as they're all going to be now pitting. And look at that, there's some great crowd out there to watch and enjoy this race up there. And look at that, we're lap 33, so just about a few laps, not a few laps, but still a lot of laps actually to the end of this stage. But it has been interesting. Just all these drivers, Belliot, Rees, Aaron, Fox, Giordano, Gardiner, Lingerfeldt, Stutzman, Smith, Holmes, and Setzer completing the 11-car grid here tonight at Chicagoland, as it's going to be now Gardiner ahead of this Lingerfeldt, but now it is going to be Lingerfeldt ahead of Gardiner, just gaining that position. Excuse me about that. And about 20, not 20, in fact, just 19 laps to the end now, to the end of this stage, which probably be a little bit of break for the drivers and for us as well to just relax a little and get it going. But we'll see. Not much racing action going on the track. A little bit of just drivers running away from me, not away from each other, but just a little bit, as there's not much going on. As in fact, as we say, the cars are not together and to each other. It is going to be Adam Gardiner and Stutzman very closer racing. As Stutzman going to go on the outside of Gardiner up there. They're going to be side by side, but still not going to be leaving on one another. They're going to be together. They're still going to be there. They're still side by side. Gardiner and Stutzman fighting each other off. Adam doesn't want to let it go, but Stutzman doesn't want to leave out that position as well. He's going to be gaining up that position and moving up forward and ahead of Adam Gardiner. And look at that one more time again, as you're going to have Stutzman get closer to Lingerfeldt up there as well. Maybe not any fighting at the top of the field, but Stutzman's flying after that pit stop now. Going to get back into 6th place and maybe show enough speed to try and challenge up Giordano as well, as he's going to be on his way to overtake. But not quite enough so far for him. Still quite behind, but he can try and attack Lingerfeldt anytime soon, but not yet. At 41 out of the 54 break that is going to be, but look at that so far. Race in Joshua Reed in second place, about almost 5 seconds down on the race leader, Balliet. A fantastic job so far, as he got a great exit out of that pit lane, which surely earned him this much gap. They were sure he was leading earlier on, but the gap wasn't this big. But it is amazingly big now, as that on the exit and a pit stop was amazing. That we saw Belly exiting that pit lane and just very fast and precisely try and get out ahead of him early on. It's probably, I believe, Belliot might have just taken just fuel, because if they get a stage break, he can then pit. I'm not sure how the mandatory pit stop is, if it even was one mandatory pit stop under green, that is already done. So we'll only get to know things more and more as we get progress with the race. But this should be nothing but some great fighting. And look at that, Stutzman's now already through on Lingerfeld, and a position up for Stutzman, up into 6th place now. Still just about 4 to 5 tenths down on Stutzman, 4 to 5 tenths down on Arden. And we'll see what he's going to be able to do, because Emerson Arden is currently running in 5th place. But the way and the speed Stutzman has shown, he could well be on his way to overtake Arden very, very soon. And he, in fact, will be on his way to overtake him soon, as they are now very close to get to each other. We are just seeing Lingerfeld at this point, but look at that, Devon Smith in that 11th, but 8th place, up a few positions up ahead. In fact, just right ahead of Adam Gardner. And what about Soames? He's in 10th place now, just ahead of Stetzer, who's a lap down on everyone, but he will get his lap back if there is a caution up there. And look at that, Stutzman now very close, almost bumper to bumper with that 57 car. He's going to go down low. They almost make contact up there, but will he be overtaking him easily? Will we see Arden leave him, let him go quite easy? He kind of does, but he's going to try and come back at him. Not trying to let him overtake, though. But Emerson will have to back out, and that's going to be Stutzman gaining up another position. But that won't be too long before we see Emerson try and come back at him. Will it be enough for him to try and come back? Not quite, though, as now Stutzman is going to be up ahead, and one more position for him, up into 5th place. Top 5 for Stutzman, and P5. He gets himself into, he could well be now on his way to try and overtake Giordano on that 21 car, but he won't be doing that. And look at that now, Lingerfeld is right behind the 57 as well, as the 57 almost hit that one on the outside. Just unstable his car a little. That's going to make him lose a lot of time, and that is only going to allow Lingerfeld to just get a little bit closer, and it's going to be more and more position down for Emerson, but no, not so far. He's just going to be able to hang in there and keep that 6th place so far to himself.
Are you all right?
And there we go, and look at that, it's going to be the 65 now, going in there, and almost, look at that, Emerson, I believe, just hit that rear end on that wall, and almost that kind of saved him up there, because he almost got very close to Lingerfeld there, and that then allowed him to just slow down a little, and that's only helped Arden at this point. But we will see, though, as Lingerfeld is trying everything he can to overtake, but not kind of enough up there. Sure, Arden has lost out positions, but Kyle just not able to overtake. Kyle not able to get up ahead. So far, another position, another rear end moving up there for that 57, as now Kyle's going to be through, and finally the position that was long way up coming has been gained up now, as we now move up into lap 50 as well. Lap 51 now getting closer to the end of this stage. And look at that. Now it's going to be one more position lost out for Arden up there. Arden just not having the second phase of this race quite good at all, as he's going to be going down one more position as Smith gets up ahead of him as well. In the 7th place now goes Devin Smith, as that's going to be good position and progress for him. Up in the 7th place so far. This is going to be great. This is going to be very interesting, as it is. Ooh, a little slide up there. That rear end, little bit rear end stepping out. And the Arnhem, look at that now. Reese and Fox very closer to each other as the number 22 car now just getting closer to Reese. Remember, Reese started in 1st place out ahead of everyone on pole, but he hasn't been able to keep up on that 2nd stage, losing out on that first stint, losing out to Belliot. He has been right behind him on the 2nd stint. He's about to lose out to Fox, as Fox just has a little bit of a rear end slide, and that's going to be just able to keep it up. His position will be Reese, and at the end of this lap we should be getting that stage break, and Belliot is going to be the man to be getting up or going up on his way to win stage 1. So far it still stays green, but we are on lap there, and it's going to be Fox now going up through. Is Reese going to be able to defend his position just up to the end of it? No, just so far he will be able to do that, as we are over to lap 55 as well. No yellows yet.
Yellow flag is out.
And there we go, yellow flag is now out. And that is going to be the end of stage 1. And it was Joshua Belliot winning up stage 1, taking number 1 spot in that number 7 car. And Reese, P2 in that P1, number 1 car, with Fox finish up in that top 3. 55 laps over. Some good racing, some just decent racing by these drivers. 11 of them, still all of them out on the track. That's a great news. So we're just now getting up to the stage break. We're just going to take a little bit of a break and be back when we get started and go green once again.
Green flag, green flag.
Emerson, just a heads up.
And there, everyone, we are back. A break was a little bit longer than intended, but there we go. This is going to be some great fighting from all these drivers already as we just get started off into the final stages of this race. Of course, there won't be any stage break from now on. And look at that. That is somewhat of side-by-side action. Already great racing as Stutzman's ahead of all these drivers into 5th place. Look at that as we see Kyle in that 4th place with Fox in 2nd. And now Arden fighting up there. And look at that, all these drivers are going to be there for that fight in the 4th place. As Smith now, look at that. Smith now just gets ahead of Arden up there. Arden keeping up those positions, losing out, but just still trying to fight up in there. Stutzman now going to try and get up ahead of Kyle Lingerfeld, but Lingerfeld just going to be staying there. As Devin Smith is going to be maintaining 6th place so far. We're on lap 70 out of 134. Still 64 laps to the end, 63 after this one. And look at that, as Smith's going to go down on the inside. He's going to be on his way to overtake. But Stutzman just hold him off. He's staying closer to that wall on the outside. Maybe he's found some cracked little code that he's going to stay to the outside so far. As Smith now has a try one more time. He's going to be staying down low. But will it be enough for him to overtake? Not quite enough. And look at that. Stutzman's laser focused on trying to get ahead of Kyle up there. As Kyle's now going to be on his way to try and overtake again. As Kyle now just getting in pressure. Kyle will be in big pressure to be trying to saving up from Stutzman. Stutzman not quite enough. Able to overtake him, and Smith's now going to be on his way. Is he going to be able to overtake him finally as he touches the wall? Stutzman touches the wall, goal down low. Going to try and come back at him. Going to try and come back and try and keep up that position. I mean, Smith is trying everything at this point to try and overtake, but not quite enough. Just not able to do it, and can't just do it so far. So can't Stutzman, who's on his way to try and overtake Kyle. He's not able to overtake Kyle as well, as we see. I think best for Smith is to just follow up Stutzman at this point. As we're going to see a car right behind, it is going to be Giordano making up contact. He's going to fall down places. That is going to be a caution. A yellow flag for incidents. And look at that first incident of the race. We are just saying, praising the drivers, having a very clean race so far, and just making up contact and going into the wall is Giordano. And let's have a look at that now. Side by side with Arden, and we saw many times Arden have a little, but look at that.
I didn't see if you made it all the way down to pit road or not when you went to the infield.
Not sure what exactly happened, but kind of it was Giordano just drifting up and into Arden's 57 car he went.
Car on the back.
And look at that. He maybe has some kind of a damage straight headed into pit road. There you go. That's going to be now some laps behind the pace car. And all the cars now hit pit road. Everyone now hit pit road, and just a free pit stop for all of these drivers to get going. And the free pit stops that they're going to be getting because of this caution and because of this yellow flag. Because that's then going to mean that everybody can pit and come out. The fight in the pit lane is still going to be on who comes out ahead of one another. And if Reese is able to do a bit of a better job today here in the pits, he can just get out ahead of all these drivers. He's got number one he's got number one on his car, and the first pit stop on the exit, his first pit box on the exit. But no, it's going to be Belliot once again. Belliot already and always. We saw him earlier on in that first pit stop as well that he came out ahead of Reese, and he does it again. He just doesn't let anybody else come out ahead of them. Maybe the graphic has not updated yet. It says Belliot still in the pits, but I saw him exit out very early and just ahead of all those drivers up there. Lap 76 out of 134, so with pace car is going to be there. The drivers are just going to do a few laps around it, behind it still, so... And yes, indeed, so look at that. Not sure why exactly, but Belliot seems to be...
strategy I don't know about.
And what happened there? Look at that. Belliot just running up on the grass. Not sure what exactly happened. He seems to be running out on the grass. He's still in first place, though.
Okay.
We can't see if the lights on the pace car are on or off, because if the lights are off, that means that it's going to be heading pit road this lap. Otherwise, it's going to be taken up one more time. We'll just start and get beginning when the pace car is back in and we go green racing. As the pace car now heads in, and we're gonna restart this race for the second time. First time because of an incident caution. As we get going racing now, it's gonna be Belliot racing up ahead of everyone again. As we have SDK has its own issues, it's going to be Smith and Kyle fighting up each other. Arden going to be going up on the inside and just getting up ahead of the 65 car there. They're almost going to make contact, touching up the front and rear of one another cars. Of one car and another, almost touch up there, but not quite enough. All cars running together. Arden almost comes together again with Stutzman. Just does enough to save himself and keep himself up ahead. Keep himself without making contact. So we have no data of the race or the laps so far, but we are going to be on our way to be just having a look at these drivers getting out on the track and doing the job they can to entertain us, to give us the performance they have been before. And look at that again, Smith. I feel like Smith just has pace, but he's unable to overtake cars. We saw earlier on with him against Stutzman as well. He was very closer every lap. He was trying, but just not able to get through. And look at that now, Giordano once again, and this time just gets out ahead of Arden around the outside. He tried to make a move on the inside a while ago, made contact, and that was the whole reason that caused the caution, as Smith is going to be on the inside, and finally he's going to be taking up a position and gaining up a place up on Arden this time, as Adam got in a right behind, to be honest with his trying to overtake as well. Seeing these guys together, Kyle and Devin Smith up there. Smith now goes down low, almost going for an overtake, and look at that. By this time, sure, he goes high, but he's just following Kyle at this point. I think now the way that Smith is trying, I've watched as much racing just to know that Smith needs to go to the outside and go high to try and overtake if the inside is not working for him. He could well be trying making up a position up there as Smith, but so far he's still able to not make an overtake. He did overtake Arden, but yet to overtake anybody up ahead so far. Look at that, a little fight between Arden and Adam Gardner up there as well. Down the inside now again. Smith going forward. This time he might just have him. He might just get ahead of the 65 car. And he's going to be still side by side. Still he's going to be on the inside. But this time he's just going to get through. And yes, he will. He finally overtakes Kyle as well. Long time. It was a long time coming. But Smith gets it now. And look at that 95 car up there, just on that car, and just ahead of Kyle. But Kyle might try and come back at him because Kyle's not going to be leaving him behind at all. Sure, he's making an overtake, but he has to make the progress because if he does not, Kyle's going to be coming back at him, and he will be coming with the speed of light, trying to overtake him. And look at that, a little bit of movement from Kyle's car there. Just car a little getting unstable a little, driving around here. Not been one of those cars ever, but sure, they don't seem to be driving easy, and they're all looking at it, giving us the fight, giving us the action, as it's going to be Arden and Adam Gardner around now, fighting right behind and trying to give up. An interesting fight. Let's have a look at that.
Sorry, Jeremiah, I couldn't even look.
Look at that, we still do not have the overlay, but it crashed, of course. You know, SDK has its fair share of issues sometimes. And let's have a look at this. Still, the action on the track is going on. The fighting still up there. Still to us, give us the action all we want. As now, Smith in fact moved quite far away from Kyle up there, and he's on his way now to try and overtake Giordano and try and attack him, but when will he be able to overtake him? Not quite sure, but sure, one thing I'm sure about is he's going to give us a fight and try and challenge him, try and attack him up there.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Oh, and look at that! And that is going to be an incident! It's going to be Adam Gardner! Not sure how it happened. The first incident was with Arden involved. Let's see what exactly happened up there. But that is now Adam Gardner spinning around. And we have no idea if the caution has been caused or if it's been saved, because Adam seems to be catching up back with the pack and get out on the track once again quite easily. And there we go, the pace car is out on the circuit already. It's out on the track, a little bit of tapping around. Nobody had pit road so far, as there is going to be two cars. And in fact, it's going to be everybody except for the top two. The top two did not pit, and all the other drivers are going to be heading into pit road and getting up themselves. Maybe get some fuel again and the tires that they would need, all fresh up to go to the end of this race and make it a very exciting one. A good opportunity for all these drivers to equal out everything and have a chance of getting out of the pit lane ahead of everyone. And we only see Belliot up there, in fact, only him, nobody else around. in the pits as well. And finally, the overlay is back again, and it's caution on lap 91. Second caution because of an incident. We're just going to take these laps around and be back once again. Just a bit of break and back again. We'll be back when it's green.
Don't worry, I might get in the wall first.
Green flag, green
Race car hits into the pits once again, and look at that, Arden into the lead of the race. Is going to be fighting up side by side with Belliot up there, and it's going to be the Fox, the 22 of Fox, going to be going on the inside as well. We're just getting into the last 40 laps in this race. It's going to be side by side action. It'll be 3 wide now. Arden 87 and the 22 of Fox all together as Stutzman Hall goes round the outside and make his way up into second place up there. Ooh, a little contact with the wall. Maybe would have been Giordano once again, but Emerson now falling right behind. He for one moment was into the race lead, but just not enough for him now, as he's going to be now in challenge with from Reese as well. As round the outside is going to go Kyle. It's going to be going Giordano. All of them are going to be making positions except for Reese, who's still side by side with Emerson. Lap 94 out of 134, and look at that. This is some great racing already by all these drivers. All of them are doing some good racing action. It's going to be almost backed up, and just into the back of Reese was going to go Smith up there, as Reese has lost out quite a few positions. As Stitzman now leads the race, as Belliot has fallen behind and back in fourth, and now fifth place for the number 7 car driver. Adam Gardner and Soames. Soames currently in 10th and 11th place so far. Lap 96 of 134, as Kyle is now going to be on his way to gain up a position on Reese up there, as Reese is going to fall down another place. And look at that, Smith is on his way to try and fight up Belliot. Belliot just falling right behind quite massively. Not sure what exactly happened, but maybe he's trying to just run down behind these drivers now. Stay in their draft, stay in their slipstream, and get you going, charging when it's needed. And they almost made contact up there, did Reese and Belliot, both fighting each other now, but still just one of them in that 6th place, the other in 7th. All not fight outside the top 10 now. Were once fighting for that race lead, now outside of it, as Kyle in 5th, with Smith up in a 4th place now. Good progress for him. Giordano in 3rd, Stutzman in 2nd, and Fox leading this race so far. There we go. We were having some bit of issues earlier on, but of course those are all fixed now. The on-screen graphics of the overlays are back again, and we can see all the data and everything up there. And look at that. Not sure what exactly happened, but Ballion has fallen down massively as he now runs down in 10th place, in fact. We're into 100 laps. We're into lap 101. Now just 33 laps remaining after this one. The final 30 of this race will start very soon. And let's get started. We're going to be seeing some great action as Stutzman going to touch the wall on the outside, and he's going to be losing out position as Giordano and Smith are going to be on the fight. Smith is going to take second place as both of them are going to come back again. Giordano and Stutzman on the outside, and in between, all going three wide as Smith's now going to try and squeeze these drivers, but he's only going to be able to do it to Giordano. Not quite enough to Stutzman. He's going to try and attack him back and take that position, but maybe not be enough. Oh, there we go. As now Giordano knocks that wall, touch that wall on the outside. Smith and Stutzman are going to be up there, and they're going to be on that fight. And Kyle going to be in between these two. He's going to try and make this three-wide fight, as both of them are still going to be there. As Smith and Stutzman both fighting up for that second place. Stutzman touches that wall, and that is going to be more contact with the wall for Stutzman. He's going to fall back. And far behind, as Kyle and Reese are going to be very closer to each other as well. Almost making contact again. Those two just by inches, they're away from each other. And what a fight for a few little moments we've had between these drivers. They were fighting each other off and almost went up there. Lap 108 out of 134, just into those final moments and final stint in this race now. With just 25 laps to go after this one, this will be some great racing upward to the end. And there we go, just now to the end. 25 laps to go. Just the final 25 in this race with Balliot, Pittman having to pit as well. And so is Arden. All these drivers pitting up late. So is Giordano and Somes as well. Maybe Giordano making up contact with the wall really hurt his race. As Reese and Smith now fight it off for second place. One laps to the end. 21 laps to take us through and get us to the end of this race, which of course still a long way to the end, and the fight between Smith and Fox is still on. The fight between the two, it will be on, as down the inside goes the number one of Reese, car of Reese. He's going to be up there on the inside, just going to try and take that second place up there. Finally Reese coming up back to the top of the timings as he falls back along with Belliot, but Belliot didn't pit actually on that recent caution, so he might have been falling back a little, as now Belliot tries to come back as well. He maintains position, but that's a position because Gardner might have pitted or something quite might have happened up there. They're going to be side by side. It's going to be the 95 and the number one car up there. Who will be number one of them? Both of these two fighting each other off with 20 laps to go. They're going to be on their own. The gain for the positions is on. The fight for the position is going to be on. They're going to be all together, bunched up on the way to fight each other off. It's going to be Smith again, just falling out, just getting up ahead. But Smith's going to be challenged up by Kyle up there, as Kyle has gained the position, as the leader has disappeared. And that is then now Reese and Smith all heading pit lane. Everybody now hits pit road, so the final stop before the end of the race, there had to be done one, and it is going to be the top three drivers in there, leaving out the other three drivers, getting into the pits, leaving out Lingerfeld out on the track. Maybe that's why we saw Belliot didn't pit earlier on, but he pits now only a few laps earlier, and definitely the strategy now making sense, and all getting together for this race, and on his way for a big chance of a victory here tonight. Look at that 21 car of Emerson, 57 of Emerson, 21 of Giordano, all out, and everybody now on that lead lap. They lost out a few laps again, and these two have came together earlier on in this race. They're going to be all fighting once again, and look at that. Belliot is back again to the top of the timings, and he's back at the top of the sheets again, and there's going to be a fight for him. Stutzman and Fox and Giordano now fighting for that third place on that podium. Fox is just ahead, and he's gotten ahead of Giordano in that 21 car, up into the 17-16 to go now. all drivers together, all in on their way to be getting us to fight. And Stidman loses out to Fox. Fox gaining another position. Like, look at that. Fox was in third, fighting for third place a moment ago. He's now into second place as well. Just about the race leader to go for him. The fight to the end will be crazy. The end to this race is going to be a one to watch with just 14 laps to go. And it's all opening up now. All making sense together for all the strategies the driver has to work for. They're all going to come down to this little fight as Reese now finds himself at the bottom of the field. He was at the top once, but he's back again. He's back in 9th place now, as we're going to see Setzer and Soames, the two we haven't seen from a long time in this race so far, but they're going to try to do what they can. They're going to try and make a position as the number 5 car makes a position, as we're going to see Matt finally getting up ahead and making one position up on Soames up there. As Fox now races to leads the race. Fox has now gotten up ahead of Belliot as well. Fox now leads the race here at Chicagoland with just 13 laps to go. He takes the lead and the gap is already 1.3 seconds. And the gap is only going to increase if he keeps driving up at that pace. Lap 11 laps to go to the end now, as we're going to see Josh Fox leads the race here at Chicagoland in that number 22 car. He leads on up ahead of Balliot, ahead of Giordano, ahead of Gardiner, and ahead of Kyle Lingerfeld, all in that top 5. Just outside the top 5 will be Devon Smith, Stutzman, Arden, and Reese, with Setzer and Soames completing out the 11 car drivers.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Now position switching with Setzer now getting up ahead of Stutzman as well, losing out positions. Just 8 laps to go now to the end. Not many at all. Seven laps to the end. 6 laps to the end, and there's still fighting going on. There's still position switching for that top 3, as now we've seen Kyle getting up ahead of Giordano up there, making up a position. Still no end to this race. Nobody knows. Sure, Fox is 5.6 seconds up ahead, but the rest of the positions could well be up in there, as now Kyle gets up ahead of Belliot as well, as Kyle Lingerfeld is really doing it. I've given it a fight to the end of it. 5 laps to go here at ChicagoLand. It is Fox ahead, Josh Fox ahead of everyone, with Kyle Falkfeld and Lingerfeld in 2nd place, Devin Smith in 3rd, Belliot in 4th, Giordano in 5th, completing the top 5, with Gardner, Reese, Stitzer, Stitzman, Arden, and Solms all outside the top 5 and completing the grid with just 4 laps to go now. Oh, look at that. The fight is on. The fight for 2nd place is on with just 3 laps to go. Fox seems to be the comfortable one in that race lead. Belliot has lost out to Smith now as well. And look at that. They're moving around, almost making contact with each other. It's going to be Kyle around the outside. He's going to go and take it. But Smith's going to come back at him as well. Give him the fight. And again, just make it a little bit harder for Kyle up there to take that 2nd place. And Smith can well take that 2nd place. There was a time at the start of this race we saw Smith not being able to overtake, and he's now not letting others overtake, and there's going to be a mistake done by Smith. He's going to lose out that car. He's going to make a huge mistake, stays out of any of the walls. That's a good one for him, and doesn't make any contact, but almost went in there. Had he not got that car back in control, that could have been a big crash, and we could have had our caution here at the end of this race. And that's the final lap. It is going to be Josh Fox, the man. We saw here all of these drivers take the leads. Many different changes for that race lead. A lot of the drivers and a lot of the people having their up and down in this race. But it was Josh the man. It was Fox the man, staying up together, and in the end, in that final stint, doing a job that nobody else could do. Just very better and amazing drive from him. And that's going to be Josh Fox coming up home to take the ticket flag and finish first here at ChicagoLand. It's going to take victory with Lingerfeld in 2nd place, Smith in 3rd, taking up final position on the podium, with Belliot 4th, Giordano 5th, Reese 6th, Gardner 7th, Stitzer 7th in that number 5 car, with Stitzman, Arden in 9th and 10th, and Solms completing out the 11 car drivers, finishing in last place, final and last place. Stitzman in the end had a good fight, actually looking like he was maybe going to be one of the top 5 finishers, but not enough for him, just not enough. For Fox to really get up there, and look at that. He's gonna do those donuts, the victory donuts that we're gonna see Fox do. That is some amazing donuts done by Mr. Fox, as he's gonna get us some action. And what a race that was. Congratulations, Josh Fox. Along with is Giordano going to be doing donuts? He's not doing donuts, he's just making contact with that car, but maybe they're doing something. Number 21 and 22. And look at that, all together. The drivers now just parking up together. Maybe they have something to do here and show us all the end of this race. It is 21 Giordano now getting started. Maybe goes into the back of Smith. Okay, it doesn't go into the back of Smith, but maybe doing something, but all now just disqualifying. And look at that, not sure what exactly happened to Reese. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, we have our race winner of tonight, Josh Fox, just taking victory ahead of everyone, over 5.5 seconds the gap. Take us through your race, Fox.
Yeah, in getting into the race, looked like it was a top lane dominant track. Ballier and Josh Reed were pretty solid on the first run. I couldn't really figure out what to do on the first run, and I figured after my first pit stop I would do something completely different, and luckily it worked the rest of the race.
It really did. I mean, a lot of the time we saw position switching, and some of the drivers, even Stutzman at one point was leading the race, and then so was Bellier as well. But then in the end, they finished quite at the back, and you end up being at the top. It was. Did you think for these ending parts of the lap, especially the final pit stops when we saw 15 and then about 15 to 12 laps to go? Did you think you had it in mind, or was it still up until you had like 3 to 4 laps to the end, you think it was now your time, or otherwise you were sure that it was your game to the end, or anyone could have taken it?
Yeah, I think on that last caution when Balliet stayed out, I kind of questioned to see what he was doing, but I think if a caution came out in that final run, I think he would have definitely had the best shot. But I know during the final run there, I was battling Kyle, Devin, Ballier, and I know Aiden and Josh. They were strong all day too. I guess I just had a good enough pit road entry on that last stop, good enough pit exit. I guess I timed it right, and luckily we were able to pull away pretty quickly and maintain the lead. I was just hoping for no yellows.
Absolutely. I mean, a great race driven overall from everybody, but congratulations once again for your great victory. And any shout outs before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates Aiden, Joshua, and Devin. Shout out to Kyle to finishing P2. Shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast every week, and shout out to Adam for running the whole league.
Thank you. Great talking to you. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
That then, ladies and gentlemen, was our race winner, Josh Fox, having a chat with us. We'll see if we can get anybody else from the two of the top 3 drivers that finished in there. But some great races, he said in his words. You heard that they all fighting together. It was quite hard and a top dominance track, as I at one point said that Smith could try and go around the outside to try and overtake as the inside wasn't working. And you heard it from that driver himself. It's a great racing, pretty much. And unless we could get somebody in, we're just coming up to the end of the broad now. And it's myself, Zabi here, and thank you all for tuning in here tonight at BMRL Network. Catch you around next week. Hope you all watching enjoyed it. And if you sure are just joining right now, go and rewatch this as soon as this ends. So it's myself, Zabi, on your commentary mics, and I'm out. Peace.